everyone. Thanks for hopping back on. This is Jacqui Cooper with J. Cooper Travels Talk Show, and I would like to welcome everyone back today. We're going to be talking with a special guest and friend of mine who happens to be just around the corner from me, about 20 minutes away. And we're going to be talking about marketing small businesses and how do you successfully kind of navigate the digital divide and world with your business. We're going to have a really in-depth conversation. But before I get started, for those that might be new to J. Cooper Travels, I just want to share a little bit about myself and how I got started and the focus of the talk show. So I have a really growing network of friends and business associates, both on Alignable, Facebook, LinkedIn, a large other number of platforms. And as I was meeting and talking to different people, I realized that their stories were really special. And so I knew that others needed to hear their stories and be able to use their services and also their experiences, because everyone has their own niche and their knowledge base. And sometimes you need to have a team of people that can help you with your passion, and your passion might be not where your talent is. So, again, I might not know a lot about digital, but I know who I can call. I might know a lot about legal because I'm a lawyer, but again, everyone has their own talent. And as an educator, I really think that it's important that we share and inspire and educate. And that's one of the purposes of J. Cooper Travels, is to have everyone dream that they can do this, if you want to become an entrepreneur, but also know that there are others in our network that you can call on who can help you become successful, because we don't have to do this alone. And with that, I want to say hello. How are you doing today, Andra?
I am doing excellent, Jackie. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. And you're an individual with so many talents. I know you are out taking, these awesome photos on the weekend. I saw some of them that you posted, and your talents know no bounds. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, your business, and how people can contact you? And then we're going to dive into our topic of today.
Absolutely. Like you said, this is Andre Taylor with TaylorMade Global. We are your personal small business digital consultant, and we are passionate about enabling our small business owners, our entrepreneurs, our startups in the digital ecosystem so that they can thrive respectively. We want to take them for where they are and leverage cutting edge technology to drive results and to help do more, with a smaller budget, I guess you could say. I was going to say smaller budget, but like do more with less, but continue to grow your revenue. And so that's really what we're passionate about. Like Jackie said, one of my things I'm passionate about is doing photography. I'm excited to announce I just passed 2 million views on my channel as well. So that was like a great milestone for me. So I'm just celebrating that still. It's like a week ago, but I'm still excited about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely in the digital space in a major way, without a doubt.
Yeah.
So thanks for having me here.
Yeah, of course, of course. I know you and I've talked before, and you have helped a lot of people. But before we talk about how you help people, how did you get involved with digital, with marketing in that area? Because I know it wasn't a straight path.
Yeah, that's a great question, actually. So actually, my background is about 10 years in real estate. And so that was in public housing side, property management. I was a licensed realtor, selling, buying them homes. And so, that's actually something I really love to do as well. So I didn't necessarily forget about that. Like I still have that, deep in my heart somewhere. But, I kept fighting the reality that, hey, I'm a tech geek, you know what I mean? I'm extremely creative, I love to learn, so like I went down this list and I discovered that, there's so much more for me to explore. And so it's time to remove the glass ceiling, is what I like to call it. In corporate America, sometimes, it's like you go so high, right? Depending on your capacity, it almost seems impenetrable. And so what I really loved about being an entrepreneur is that you set your own limitations. So I realized that, hey, once I step foot out here, if I don't make it, it's completely my fault. And I can't blame anybody else for that. So I took that leap of faith. Actually took a sabbatical, Jackie, and left and went out of the country to Madrid, Spain for like about a month. And there, my whole entire world shifted. And I really launched, it was originally TaylorMade Solutions, with a focus on web design, actually, because I seen a really a great need for web design, not only in that present moment, but as the trends were saying, like, hey, you're gonna have to be online. If you don't
Yeah.
have a website,
Yeah.
your business isn't real. And
Yeah.
people didn't want to believe that, the brick and mortar. And I'm like, oh, I gotta come in and I gotta help these people because they need to know we have to bridge the digital divide. I didn't anticipate the pandemic or any of that, which would accelerate that
Yeah,
reality.
exactly.
But I knew it was definitely trending that way without a doubt. And so fast forward, Jackie, we've added marketing to our repertoire, software, technology, apps, photography. Yeah. And so it's kind of expanded from there to where we're a full service agency focusing, specializing in helping the small guy, because we believe that small is the new big. And it's definitely the people that need probably the most help and are really the fabric of our society and our economy as a whole, as a country, as a nation.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, every large business started off small. And
Yes,
you can be very successful even if you are small, with not a lot of employees or staff. You can have large dollars simply,
absolutely.
because of an idea. And like you said too, by being automated, by being online, you can do things in a way that's very efficient. And I think that
Mm,
actually COVID showed us that you can be both brick and mortar, you can be hybrid, and
absolutely.
you can be flexible,
Mhm,
that just because one door shuts doesn't mean another's not open.
mhm,
So but again, it's all about the mindset, and are you posturing your business in a way which can have an online presence, like you said. When we
mhm.
first started on the internet, people were thinking, what, are you going to put your business online? Well, it sort of is like when banking went online.
Yes.
Now, you and I have talked about the blockchain and the crypto side. Again, things are moving fast, and unless you kind of
Mm,
keep up, do your research for sure, but unless you keep up with where things are going, you could actually be left behind accidentally. So you do
mm,
need someone like yourself who can consult and advise on how do you put this together. And I love the fact that you're full service, because it does you do need a team of people. You can't know everything, and
mm.
not everyone can be an expert in everything. I know I'm a generalist, but for me, that's okay. But I know I need to get to someone like you for the specifics.
Absolutely. And Jackie, you just said so, like we could probably do a multiple shows just unpacking what you just shared in a few minutes. And I totally agree with you. Like the only thing that is constant is change. And I believe it's not even a guess, it's definitive that, right, if you don't have the ability to adapt to our changing environment, you're right. You will be left behind. And I believe that we're experiencing that in so many different ways, right? The job force in and of itself, everything is actually in the state of flux. There's transformation. In the pandemic, it's like this stuff already was real, but the pandemic said, you can't, ignore me anymore, right? You can't avoid this reality. And so where people were like going crazy, Jackie, I'm like, this is just another day for me. It's
Yeah.
almost like I was built for this because I'm a lifelong learner. So I'm like, I'm learning how to work from home already. I operate in the digital space and I realize these things that are now just becoming obvious to a lot of people. And lo and behold, every company, right? All the major ones, the Googles, your Facebooks, oh, now you can work home permanently. Well, you always could have worked home, right? The capacity was already there, but mentally we couldn't get past that construct. And that's everywhere, right? It runs rampant. Like, why are we doing things this way, Jackie? Because that's the way we've always done it. That's the mentality, right? Don't you hear that? Like
Yeah.
everybody knows that phrase, and
Yeah.
it resonates deep within because we're creatures of habit. It's human, you know what I mean? We want to stay in this state of comfort. And so change, what does that feel like? It feels uncomfortable. It
Yeah,
feels
it does.
uneasy, you know, it's ugly, it's brutal, you know, it's painful. And so we associate it with this negative thing. But I challenge you, if you just embrace it and you actually get fascinated by it and you get excited behind it. And like, I know it's this case for you, Jacqui, because like every time I turn around, like Jackie's like, hey, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm learning crypto. Like, I'm like, you know, no end. Like, and you truly embody that principle. And once I think you would agree, you can jump in, but you know,
Yeah,
once you
no,
do that, your life will be better, right?
yeah, I definitely agree. I also think, you know, it's great to be open to new things, you know, be an educator. I want to learn things so I can then teach the kids that I'm also helping. But like you said, you're a lifelong learner. I am too. And there's no limit to what we can learn. And well, I mean, I'll take that back. I did know French at one point. Maybe, you know, I'm trying to learn other languages. That's maybe my limit in terms of I'm not as fluent as I want to be. But you know, let's go back to what you're again, you're full service. So you have different categories of how you help business. How did you decide which categories that you think businesses need help in?
That's a
So
great question.
you
Yeah,
have,
so
yeah, go ahead. Say the
well,
categories again.
it's long story short. We offer honestly about 50 services if you really just dissect them. So I don't bore people with those details. But at the end of the day, as an entrepreneur, you should be customer centric, right?
Yes,
The
right.
reason why you exist is because you're serving the need of the customer. And so that's really how we found our journey. Like, we've always been passionate about serving the people that have the need and doing the most good in that process. And that's been interwoven within our entire philosophy. And so at a time, you know, it might mean, you know, web design, you know, at another time it might be more graphic design, at another time it might be marketing services. And I want to say that's probably a good place to pause. Marketing seems to be a very hot topic right now. So we've actually seen an uptick there. So we've adjusted to meet our clients' need in that regard. And that's been our focus as of late.
Yeah. So one of the things that I also know that when a business goes online, we sometimes see things from our perspective, but we need to, like you said, switch and see it from the customer's perspective. Because when the
Yes.
customer approaches our website, do they find it easy to navigate? Are they going to be able to make a fast decision as to what they want and then how, you know, to either buy the product or the service? So having someone, again, like yourself, who can take a look at it from outside the mind of the entrepreneur, you know, again, it's important to have that outside person looking in. Um, so when you have clients who approach you, do you have like an interview process or onboarding process? How do you, if someone wanted to call and connect with you, how do you work with them? How do you find out what their needs are?
Absolutely. So just like our name says, we really take on this custom approach. So that hence the tailor made is really a tailor made process for you. So we don't like to subscribe to a cookie cutter philosophy. We believe that everybody's unique. Every business has their own unique positioning. So yes, our first step is to do what we like to say, maybe a meet and greet, right? We need to see if we would be compatible. I always like to look at business as like a dating ritual, honestly. And so, like, when you go out on a date, you're like, do I like this person? Could they be my mate? You know, do I want, you know, or do they do something that absolutely gets on my nerves and it drives me crazy? So I think you got to make sure you're compatible. And that's one of the very first processes. And I don't think it's just an entrepreneur thing. I think it's a corporate thing. So and you're seeing the trend now, because I follow trends on HR and hiring practices. But this new generation, like when they're going into interview with Google, they're like, Google's interviewing them, but in return, they're interviewing Google, right?
It's
They
true.
want to know as well. It's a two-way street. And it's the
Yeah.
same principle in our business. We want to know, first of all, do we fit? Do we, you know, Once we figure that out, then obviously we need to go to the problem. We need to determine what the problem is, and is that something that we can help you solve? Because if it's not, then again, we're spinning our wheels. And there's probably somebody we might know. Hey, I don't do what Jacqui does. She's an attorney. Hey, I'm not an attorney. Go talk to Jacqui. She'll take care of you, whenever your practice is. And so, we go through that process to determine if we can fit. So if we can, and we say, you know what, we're a good fit, we can help you with your problem, then we take the position of your guide. And your guide simply means that we're going to take our experiences, our knowledge, our skills, the things that we develop over years, over a decade, and we're going to take them and use them to guide you to get to the solution that you're seeking after. Help you overcome your obstacle, your challenge, your barrier, whatever it is you're dealing with, so you can come out the victor, right? And you can come out avoiding stress and problems and issues and wasted money and that kind of thing. And at the end of it, you should walk away saying, yes, that's exactly what I needed. Now I am the superhero. I'm exactly what I was going for. And we consider that a successful, engaging relationship. And then we would hope that after we go on these successful dates, that you would then want to date us again sometime in the future, and one day we might have what I like to call a business marriage, where you say, hey, you know what? I'm committed to you. I'm sticking around for the long haul. And that's what marriage is, right? It's you coming under oath, and it's basically declaring a public commitment, right? Under statute, saying, hey, I'm committed to this individual, my spouse, my mate. I want to be with you for the long haul. And that's what business is kind of, is about, if you really think about it. Yep. And I love that, that analogy. So I love to use that.
So why don't you, I'm going to interrupt you for a quick second, mention how people can contact you, because for those that maybe are not familiar with the talk show, that the information will be in the blog below. So if you don't have paper and pen, that's fine. Just come back to this episode. That way you can connect and use the services. But why don't you go ahead and mention how can people reach you?
Absolutely, Jacqui. You can go to www.taylormadeglobal.com. That's TaylorMade global.com. Or you can email me directly, Andre, that's Andra, at TaylorMadeGlobal.com. Or we're TaylorMade Global on like all the social media platforms. Google us, we might come up. TaylorMade Global in Freeport, Illinois, more specifically, because we're not TaylorMade Golf. I do want to put that out there, because they get that confused sometimes. But pretty soon we'll rank higher than them, and but yeah, so we're out there, and we would love to, again, meet and greet. We're about building relationships. We're about connecting with people. We may not be a good fit to work together. It doesn't mean we don't still want to be over here on the sidelines, cheering you on, saluting you, celebrating you, and promoting your success and getting forward. We're about, the cause, the movement of helping the small guy collectively. So either way, let's talk.
I agree with you. So one of the things that I'm just going to mention for those that might not know, yes, I am an attorney, but I'm only licensed in one state. So I decided, because I was meeting people all across the United States and also Canada and other locations, that I would become associated with Legal Shield, because I also believe, just like you, it's important to be able to refer people to a source of lawyers that can also support and that are affordable. Because if you can pay a small monthly amount to go over legal documents instead of an hourly rate, that means you can then afford the marketing side or the other side that will help promote your business. So I will also put the link in for the Legal Shield side. And just like you said, it's full service too, because it has options for the individual. It has options for small businesses. It has an option if you are a commercial driver. There's if you're rideshare, there's some home-based business. So there's a lot of different resources that Legal Shield offers that's extremely affordable. And as an attorney, where I used to charge hourly rates, I feel really comfortable recommending Legal Shield, because again, it's a very small monthly amount, and you get a ton of service. But I always like to wrap up our conversation with one tip, one place. If you were to have one tip for the listeners, a takeaway on either a marketing tip or something that they should remember about your company and how you can help them, what would you recommend?
So one tip I really love is for everybody to develop what's called a customer persona. And a customer persona is essentially your ideal customer. Get as much information as you can about them, their psychographics, their demographics, their ages, their geographic, everything you can. Because once you better understand who it is you're serving, then everything else will fall in line in terms of your services, your marketing, et cetera. And you'll just be a lot more successful overall.
That makes so much sense. What about one place now? I know you and I love to travel. What hideaway place would you recommend for people to discover that they might not know about?
I think they would know them all, and there's so many. But one place that I really enjoyed was Aruba. Like the beaches and like the unique trees. They have like these unique trees down there. The water is like glass. I mean, it's not as sharp, but it's clear. It's beautiful. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
one. But I think a lot of people know about Aruba. But if you haven't been
That's
there, you
okay.
definitely
That's
want to check it
okay.
out.
I haven't visited there yet. I'll put it on my bucket list, especially now that you suggest that. Any last minute thoughts? I know we're going to have future conversations, but any last minute thoughts that you want to share with our listeners?
No, I just want to give you homage, Jackie, for doing this, for taking out the time of your busy life, your busy schedule. This is a sacrifice. You're not doing this because you're getting paid millions and millions of dollars. You're saying, you know what, I actually believe in this. I'm passionate about it. And so you're actually sticking your neck out to be a resource, to be a beacon of light, to be an educator as you are, and to empower people. And so that for me is everything. And that's why I'm here on this show today, because I believe in that as well. And so I believe that that's a divine connection. And I look forward to, growing with you, seeing and experiencing your success long term, as well as the listeners of this show. So thank
I,
you again.
I appreciate that. Why don't you share one more time your contact information so they can definitely reach back out to you?
Absolutely. TaylorMadeGlobal.com everywhere. TaylorMade Global. Or you can reach me directly, Andre, that's Andra, at TaylorMadeGlobal.com. I look forward to connecting with you soon.
And everyone, when you do connect, definitely mention that you heard, our conversation. And everyone, have a great day. Remember to be kind to each other and enjoy your walk and enjoy your day. Have a great one. Thank you.
Take care.